So I'm going to now only be doing videos every Friday. That means that I'm going to now have like a kind of like a show out of this, and then there'll be different segments, which will be the segments you guys already know. The random talk like this, the last week's crew reviews, where instead of maybe doing every review that I did in the week, I'll pick highlights, things that I specifically really liked and really want to talk about with you guys. Yeah, that didn't happen. But I'm not gay. I'm not attracted to men. What is this feeling so sudden and new? And keep in mind, with the two Thai dramas, I am incredibly behind. Hansol of ToppDogg came out as Asexual a couple weeks ago. Hi, welcome to Fudanshi, where I share LGBTQ and BL Media through news, reviews, and good conversation. My name is Devin Jackson Randall, and today is Friday, which means it's time for the weekly. I still don't have a name for this thing. I really don't. It's been 3 months and I still don't. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, and those in between, I apologize. I apologize for the 3-month hiatus that Fudanshi has gone in. It happened. Honestly, it's one of those things where you drop the ball, you fall off the wagon, you lose the rhythm, and then you just have so much trouble picking it all back up again. That's exactly what happened, was that I stopped for the 2 play productions, the 2 theater gigs that I had, the Mother Manual play, which I talked about in the last video. That went wonderfully, by the way. And then I had another gig in July with Playpen, which is an organization that builds up new works, new plays. And those were both wonderful experiences, and I hope to continue to do new work, to create and not just talk about others' creations. But I kind of dropped the ball once again with Fudanshi, and I do apologize about that. But I'm trying to pick up the rhythm. It'll be a little wonky at first, but I'm trying to pick up the rhythm, and I hope you'll stick with me as we go through this whole process. I don't really know what else to talk about for this opener, so I guess we'll just get started? Yeah? Okay, on to Random Talk. So for this Random Talk, we actually have a viewer question that I'm going to answer. Poppy F01 asks, could I have your views on another trope I'm seeing? Not new, but seemingly becoming more prevalent to my eyes. I don't really know if this has the same status of a trope per se, but in dramas lately, one of the characters will inevitably have to say that they are not in fact gay, that they only love this one particular guy. Lovesick the series, Sodas, Addicted, etc. I'm returning to BL dramas and I'm just now noticing this with a few of the series I've watched. What is that about? Well, this is definitely a trope. It is all over BL. Not just in BL dramas, it's in BL comics and yaoi as well. All over. See it all the time. This is essentially, for more explanation, a trope where a character in a gay storyline, one dude would be like, hey, I'm into this one man, but I'm not gay. I'm not attracted to men. What is this feeling so sudden and new? I do have to say that this is something that happens. This is something that is found in real life. You know, a man can go his entire life being interested in women and still in his life be interested in women and finds that one person, that one guy who does something for him. You know, this is a very broad and big world, and there are people like that. There are situations like that. So I don't want to say that that's uncommon and say that that's not justified and say that it's wrong or untruthful to life. It is. That does happen. That said, it happens far too much in BL to the point that it has become a trope. And that is for multiple reasons. First off, BL is catered towards women. BL, the basic idea of BL and yaoi, it is made by women for women. It's kind of like the same idea of lesbian porn. Dudes like to watch 2 women together. You know, you like one woman, you like women in general, you like one woman. What if you see 2 of them going at it? Voila. That's the whole mentality behind lesbian porn, and that's the whole mentality behind BL or yaoi, is that it's these 2 men together. And this is for women. It's this idea of, normally they would be attracted to you, but for some reason they're attracted to each other. That kind of I don't want to say fetishism, but that kind of fantasy. That's a better way of saying it. That's a nicer way of saying it. The fantasy of it is what pushes this trope. And then conversely, because of that, this is a drama that's not made for gay men. And so it's not trying to be realistic towards gay life. It's not being realistic towards the gay community. Once again, that is realistic to some people in their life, but at the same time, the point is not to be represented. And then on top of it, let's be honest, at this point, it's become such a trope that it's something that some mangaka and some writers for TV dramas are just putting it in just because people expect it, you know? It's just that line that people are just expecting to have at some point, being like, oh, I'm not gay. Okay, wrote that off the checklist. What else do we have to get to? Oh, let's have a kabedan. Let's have these two fall over each other and look at each other longingly. Happens all the time. So, you know, at this point, it's become somewhat of a checklist for them to have on these BL stories. In these BL stories. Grammar. I just realized that fan is on. I'm gonna turn that off real quick. So while I myself can pinpoint to where this trope began, I'm sure there might be someone in the comments who can. Please do if you do know that fact. I feel like it's just something that snowballed, that it's like, it's just become a thing that people expect because people do it so much. And then of course there is also the validity of the conversation of, hey, I'm straight, I'm liking this dude, I have to express that. Though, let's not go into a cycle, let's just move on. So solutions. Some solutions that I could come up with is just, first, let's create some new and creative stories, guys. Let's just try a way to do something new with these gay stories. Try to come at it a different way than what we've seen over and over and over again. Please, please. You know, because sometimes I'm reading manga, I'm reading yaoi, or I'm watching a BL drama, and it's just like, I've seen this before. I've literally said that for 2 moons. I've literally said that for 2 moons of, this gives me Sodas vibes. This gives me, it's not a BL, but this gives me your Hana Yoridango vibes, where it's just people are so used to putting on that checklist of tropes that lots of stories just feel the same. Let's stop that. Let's start to try to go at it differently. Now, of course, you want to go make sure that you make money, that you get viewers, that you have something in the story that will interest people. And we know that if you have that checklist, people will be interested, but let's still try to do something new, please. Second, let's just make characters gay from the start. This is a gay story. Why not have that person just be gay, you know? Now, of course, you want to keep variety. You want to have it be like, okay, this guy is straight, but he's falling in love with a gay guy. You want to have this guy be like, I'm gay, you know, and just have that be a matter of fact. You want to have one guy who's gay and having problems with his life because of that. Let's keep some variety in there. But at the same time, this is gay stories. Let's have stories about gay men, okay? Please. And then, you know, as an added note, let's try to make it representative for the gay community, but I know let's go slow. Baby steps, Devin, baby steps. And then lastly, which kind of goes with the new story feature, but like, let's just not include the trope. Can we just skip over that one line of, oh, I'm straight, I'm just straight, you know? Can we just go over that? I feel like if we'd done that, that might have saved Make It Right of the whole lead roles, the lead couple being so boring after a while, because it's just the same thing of like, oh, I'm straight, I'm in love with my ex-girlfriend who's cheating on me, but I'm still in love with her because I'm straight. Just stop it. By the way, I am still definitely way behind to Make It Right Season 2, just a heads up. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the trope. It is in fact a trope, you're right, Poppy, and it is something that's not just in BL dramas, it's in BL all over the place, in comics as well. And I just hope it changes soon. It's not one of my favorite tropes. But anyway, let's move on to last week's queer reviews. Just a heads up, for this last week's queer reviews, I'm actually using a video that I tried to record back in July, and then I just never did anything with it. So this is Devin back in July, just a heads up. But yeah, let's give it over to past Devin. Okay, so for this last week's queer reviews, which is actually more like last month's queer reviews, we're going to be talking about a few things here. And keep in mind, with the 2 Thai dramas, I am incredibly behind. In fact, I'm only up to episodes 2 of each series, whereas the series is now up to like episode 7 or 8, more like 8 I think, so I'm like 6 episodes behind. But anyway, Moons the Series. It is a BL drama. So Yo goes into the school wanting to pursue Fa, who is now like the classic pretty boy with a bit of an attitude, right? And Yo ends up being picked as the freshman Moon. We've been through this with So Does the Series. So if you don't know what that is, essentially it's kind of like he's the class freshman, the class pick to represent the freshman class, or at least for his department. And so this story is about the 2 moons, which is him as the freshman, and then the moon of the whole entire university, which is Fa, the pretty boy with an attitude, right? In addition to that, there are 2 other pairings, 2 other couples. There is Yo's best friend, who ends up in a relationship with someone else, and then Fa's best friend, who ends up in a relationship with someone else. So far, I like it. Once again, only in 2 episodes, but I like it. It has lots of Sodas kinds of feels, but that's mostly because of the whole, 2 moons aspect, which I'm now familiar with. But it also has a lot of interesting stuff going on with Yo and Fa, where it's kind of like a tug and pull relationship of Fa being incredibly mean to Yo. But I'm seeing it as a tsundere situation that might have changed in the past 6 episodes. But Yo is being good enough to fight back, unlike other people in similar relationships. So I'm interested in seeing more. Next we have Make It Right Season 2, which once again I'm only 2 episodes in. There's like 6 other episodes that I have not seen yet. But essentially this is the 2nd season of the show, and I'm in a love-hate relationship with it. First off, I hate the main couple. I'm sorry, I'm over them. I'm so incredibly over them, and I hope in the next 6 episodes that they have gotten better. But essentially there's just nothing new with them. It's just the continual repeat of the same situation that they had in all of season 1, and I'm just done with it. I know that there is going to be a love triangle with them, and I hope that that comes in episode 3, because I can't deal with any more, Fuse is confused with his feelings, and T is mad that Fuse is confused, and everybody's upset in that entire situation. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired. In addition to that, there are other couples though. Right now, Framebook in these first 2 episodes are basically just a loving couple with a little bit of spice. Like, they are really spicy right now. In addition to that, there's a new couple of Yokomo. Ironically, I'm not into the first couple of Yo and Fa from the earlier show, but I'm really into Yokomo for the exact same situation. I'm terrible. Maybe it's just because Yoke isn't a total jerk with it and isn't making jokes about suicide. Who knows? Next we have Sense8 Season 2. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on with Sense8 in its news aspect, but I'll just talk about the Season 2 for here. Non-spoilers, of course. I loved it. It was great. It was really great. In the first season, the show has a bit of a slow start. Not a bit, it has a slow start in the first few episodes, because it's kind of like just gaining traction. You're just learning who the characters are, what the situation is. But as soon as everybody in the story gets what's happening, like, oh, okay, we're connected to each other's minds, like we can do stuff with that, oh, people are trying to kill us, right? Once everyone knows what's going on, both the characters and the viewers, the show gets amazingly good. It gets so good. The action, the drama, the twists, they're just all great. They're all good. Even the convoluted storylines and twists, which are a little bit extra, are still good for the story overall. It is a good sci-fi show. I highly recommend you guys go check it out. Once again, the beginning of the first season is slow, but once it gets to like episode 7, it really picks up, and the entire 2nd season is in that fast speed. And then on top of that, this show is very LGBT friendly, with 2 main LGBT couples who are healthy and happy. In addition to that, there's a lead trans character, and then the show was headed by 2 trans showrunners. It is just so LGBT friendly, and I highly recommend it. Please, if you have it available on your Netflix, Netflix doesn't always have the same shows in different countries, but if it is available to you, go check it out. Lastly, we have 2 other shows from Netflix. First, we have Okja. Okja is a new movie on Netflix. It is a kind of combination between an American movie and a South Korean movie. It is weird. I don't know how to explain it other than that. It is a very quirky and weird movie, but Netflix is trying to get it to be an Oscar contender, and I say, yeah, it's worth that. It is essentially about this American corporation, this food-producing corporation that is trying to spin their negative persona, right? And so the new CEO decides that they're going to hold this worldwide competition for the best super pig. They have naturally discovered a giant super pig, and so they send a bunch of its calf, I believe 26, and by the way, calf is not the term, piglets, I guess, 26 piglets out into the world by local farmers, and they say whatever farmer raises the biggest and happiest pig will win the competition. Anyway, the South Korean farmer and his granddaughter raise this pig as their own. And the granddaughter considers the pig to be her best friend, like her sister, right? And that pig, of course, happens to win the competition and is taken away to New York. So the story really follows this girl who goes out of her way to save her best friend pig. And it is wonderful. The story has action, it has comedy, it has weird, quirky moments, it has a political message. It's good. It's good. And I truly believe it deserves an Oscar. Will it get an Oscar? I don't know. In addition to why I'm actually talking about it here on Fudanshi, there is a gay couple in it. It's one of those more subdued gay characters that you really have to be on the radar to notice, or really just be looking out for it. When I first saw it, because I have seen this movie multiple times now, when I first saw it, I was like, are they a thing? And then later in the film, I was like, oh yeah, they are. But some people may have missed it if they weren't actually, paying enough attention. So I'm just letting you know that is a thing. Go check it out. And lastly, we have Glow. Glow is a Netflix original series. It is an American story, so you might not find it in other countries of Netflix, but go see if it's available for you. It's based off of a real situation of the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, which was a real TV program, and they decided to just dramatize that, the creation of that TV program, right? And so it stars this one woman who was trying to become an actress in Hollywood, not having a lot of luck. She ends up an audition for a wrestling TV show, and it's really just the ups and downs and quirky, weird situations happening there. That's all I'm gonna say, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it is a comedy drama, so it is very hilarious, very funny, but in addition to that, it is very serious at times. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of like a sleeper hit where you didn't expect it, you don't really know much about it. I literally just tried it late at night, like maybe midnight, and by the end of the first episode, I was like, why would I ever want to watch more of this show? And then proceeded to watch 4 more episodes. It is that kind of show, and I say you should go check it out. In addition to that, there is a gay couple in it, gay characters, though it is once again one of those like you have to know, but it is stated enough that you will recognize it. In addition to that, there is a very poignant scene at the end of the show, in the last episode, that I thought was powerful. It's kind of like the Power Rangers situation. Some people were like, the Yellow Ranger speech wasn't really significant enough. They weren't, because she wasn't out here saying, gay, I'm gay, right? But at the same time, I, when watching it, felt it was very representative and it was very powerful. Just because you're not just out there saying it doesn't mean that it isn't a thing. And I felt like this was a similar situation in Glow. So go check out that series if you can. That is it for this last month's queer reviews. Let's go on with the news. I was kind of like battling with myself on how to do this weekly update. I was like, am I going to do like all the stuff that you missed or I missed in the past 3 months? Or doing like just jumping in. And I decided I'm just going to jump in, just do the news from the past week and just keep it rolling, keep it moving. And first, to start off with, let's talk about the Westboro Baptist Church. The Westboro Baptist Church, if you guys don't know, is one of the most recognized hate groups in America. They are a church that basically goes out of their way to be mean and spiteful. They have very anti-LGBT rhetoric, and then on top of that, they also go out to funerals. Literally, they go to people's funerals to protest them. These people are very hateful and very negative and dark, as one person who was a part of the group realized later on. And that one person was Megan Phelps Roper, who was actually the granddaughter of the founder of the church Fred Phelps. Phelps Roper, or Megan, let's just call her Megan for simplicity. Megan actually was a vocal person in the group at once. She would spread the rhetoric wherever she could. She eventually went onto Twitter, where she was confronted with a bunch of defense against her church and all the hateful things that they were doing. And that eventually led her to change her mind and to question her faith, and specifically the church. She then left the church later on with her younger sister, and they were both excommunicated from her family. And so there's going to be a film. Hey, let's bring it back to media, right? There's going to be a film about that story. It's currently in the works, created by Mark Webb, who is the director, and starring Reese Witherspoon. Next, we have some news about the Riverdale TV series. If you guys don't know, Riverdale is a TV adaptation to the Archie comics. And then this series, there has been some announcement about the changing of one of the characters. Vanessa Morgan, who is playing Toni Topaz, has announced that there will be a progressive change to the character, and that she will be the romantic foil for the Betty and Jughead relationship that is formed in the first season. And then they've said that she's actually going to be the romantic foil for Jughead, meaning she is going to be trying to attract Betty. I could have said that in a much easier way. So essentially, Betty's going to start feeling some things for Toni Topaz, and then Jughead's going to be like, what? So that's what's happening right now. A lot of people are already upset with the series for changing the comic book characters so much, specifically with Jughead, who was an asexual character before. That said, the writers and the actors specifically have said that this story is a different version of the Archie comics. Yes, in the Archie comics, the character has been asexual or aromantic before, but this version is a different kind of Jughead, and so he isn't asexual, and that's kind of interesting in a way. It's a new take. That's what they're trying to present it as. I'm not a fan of Archie comics or of the TV show Riverdale, so I don't really care anyway. It's sad that the asexual community, which is already ignored a lot, loses one prominent member of representation. What do you guys think? Are you fans of the TV show or the comics? And are you upset about Jughead? And also, are you interested to see this new love triangle forming? Oh, just a heads up for those who are fans of K-pop. Hansol of ToppDogg came out as asexual a couple weeks ago. I actually wrote a news report on it for Instinct magazine. Go check it out, link in the description. Hansol is a member of ToppDogg, which is currently on hiatus. A couple months ago, he had a live Instagram feed where he was saying some suicidal thoughts, saying things like, I wish I was dead. So fans, of course, were very concerned. And then he just recently had another live stream where he was like, he seemed happier. And then he was like, I've been thinking about this for a while, and I think I'm asexual. I love my friends, love my family, everything, but I don't need to be in love. I don't need to find a lover. And I'm happy to hear that a K-pop fan or a K-pop star is shining some light on the LGBT community, which is very much needed in South Korea. This is more of a video, like, check it out, than of a news story, but I was randomly just scrolling through the internet, and I found this random site, this random YouTube channel called Studio V. They do they're kind of like a BuzzFeed of Korea. They do a bunch of stuff like, people try out this random food, or like, what's it like to be a flight attendant, a teacher, blah, blah, whatever, right? And in this video, a bunch of, as I gathered, queer YouTubers were talking to a child about facts like, what is love? Is it okay for a man to love another man? So it was an interesting video, and I thought you guys would like to check it out. Link in the description. Also, another video you guys should check out if you haven't. If you don't subscribe to the Fine Brothers, they are the React channel, the one that does all the, like, kids react, elders react, whatever, right? And if you guys don't know, In a Heartbeat came out. You probably know, it went viral. But In a Heartbeat was an animation that was made for kids, depicting a same-sex crush, right? And so the Fine Brothers had a bunch of people react to it. They had elders react to the video. Then they had the creators of the animation react to the elders reacting to their animation. And then in addition to that, they just recently, like a couple of days ago, had kids react to the video. So go check out all those videos, link in the description if you want to. Now this is the only, like, BL-ish story that I've got for you guys. I don't really have much for BL bits this week. It's actually Western media that's based off of BL, but I wanted to share it with you guys anyway. Anyway, this comic is called Fence, and it is a sports anime. If you guys are fans of anything like Haikyuu, which I've already expressed that I love, or Yuri on Ice, then this is going to be like that, but with fencing. It's going to be like an underdog sports anime. If you guys don't know that, it's kind of like, think Rocky, right? If you've seen the movie Rocky, that kind of sports, athletic kind of storyline, right? It is going to be published by Boom Studios. The actual story writing will be done by C.S. Pacat, and then the illustrations will be done by Joanna the Mad. If you guys don't know, Joanna the Mad is a person on Tumblr, and Tumblr artist who I actually follow, and I was really excited to find out that she's doing this. So, link in the description to her Tumblr page, go check her out, she's pretty great. They are both fans of manga, of Japanese comics, and of the sports manga. They were like, let's put that in a Western perspective. And that's what this comic will be. The comic is actually going to come out later this fall. In addition to that, there will be a gay romance in it for the main characters. One of the main characters they've announced will be an Asian character, just to kind of respect the original source of this new idea. So go look out for that. It's going to be interesting. If you want to check out Joanna the Mad, I have links to her Tumblr down below. Next, I have some Kickstarters for you, just to round this out. First, we have Sweethearts of 1989, which is kind of LGBT representation, a yaoi comic, and then a love note to 80s manga. Hiroki, the main character, is a 24-year-old transgender male. He's a gutsy, spunky, fiery-headed boy who spends most of his days bouncing between jobs and indulging in his anime nerd status. Through a series of events, he ends up meeting a hapless but kind and hardworking salaryman named Hideyuki, and it seems as though they're drawn together by some string of destiny. So it's a romance. It's also very representative of the LGBT community for having a trans male character at the center of it. And then it's also centered in the 80s, so it's going to be kind of like a period piece, a love note to the 80s manga genre, timeline, whatever. So go check that out. There are only a couple of days left. Sorry, I've only just discovered it, but go check it out now if you want to fund it. You can pay for $15 to get an early PDF version of the book, but you can also just give any money you can if you want to just make sure that this book becomes a reality. If you guys don't know, In the Dark was a short film that came out earlier this summer. It was just a story that this one college student wanted to create, an interracial gay athlete story that he wanted to create. He did it in less than $300 in a 30-minute video, and he was pretty happy with it. It got a little bit of coverage from gay news sites like Outsports and so on. He wants the story to continue. He wants to extend it into a full featured film. So if you guys are interested in backing that, you can check out the link in the description. That'll show you on the actual Kickstarter page. There's information about what will go into the story, why he's funding this, and then in addition there is the video of the original short film, so go check it out. And lastly, Pronouns enamel pins. These are, as they sound, just pins of different pronouns: he, her, she, him, they, them. It's really just so you can have these very cute and adorable looking pronouns that you can put on your whatever, your boards, your book bags, your clothes, just to let people know which pronouns to call you. They're very beautiful and they're very cheap. So if you guys want to back this project to make sure that it becomes a reality and also get yourself a pin or a sticker, yes, there are stickers in addition. So go check out the Kickstarter down in the description below. And yeah, that's it for the news. That's it for this, whatever these videos are called, for this week. Like I said, just gonna roll with it. Just gonna get back into the rhythm of Queer Fudanshi. I am trying to start blogging again. Once again, I'm just gonna try to roll into it. So I'm not gonna say I'm gonna have videos or blog posts up every day, but I'm gonna try to make them frequent. In addition to that, these videos will hopefully go up every week. I'm not gonna say they're come in every Friday, but maybe get close to it. Saturdays, some days, maybe. Essentially, what I'm saying is, I want to get back into Queer Fudanshi. I'm trying to get back into the rhythm, so expect to start seeing that. It'll be a little wonky, but it'll be there. So yeah, how are you all? How was your 3 months? Did you enjoy your summer? Let me know down in the comments below. Let's get talking. Bye. To do a getting back into the rhythm. Welcome back though.